The NBA playoffs are not ready for the Golden State Warriors. As you all know, the Warriors are looking more and more likely to make the NBA playoffs. So in today's video, we're going to be going through 5 things that the NBA don't know about this Golden State Warriors roster and how it's going to help them win another NBA championship at the end of this season. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. The first is that Andrew Wiggins is coming back. As you all know, probably by the time you're even watching this video, Andrew Wiggins has played his first game since returning from a long hiatus. But having Andrew Wiggins back is honestly going to be fantastic for this team, not only on offense but on defense as well. If we look at his stats so far this season, he's been averaging 17.1 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.3 assists. So he's done a fantastic job and has been shooting a field goal percentage of 47% and a 3-point percentage of 39% as well. So losing Wiggins so far this season has definitely been a huge blow for this team, but they have finally have him back, and it is honestly going to be fantastic to see. Like I always mentioned before, especially when it comes to defense, there are stats that don't really come up. Now, he is averaging 1.2 steals, which is great, and also 1 block a game, but things such as his defensive presence, the ability to contest shots, these are types of stats that don't really come up on the stat sheet, and I think Andrew Wiggins does a fantastic job at. His role definitely in this team was always to guard the best player in the other team, and without him, it definitely has been hard for Golden State Warriors to slow down certain players. They've struggled against superstars such as Ja Morant, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, these types of caliber players, and it's honestly been fantastic to have Wiggins back because he is definitely one of those guys that can guard 1 through 5, no doubt about it. And I think having Wiggins as an overall player back in the starting 5 also makes the bench even stronger now that Donte DiVincenzo is back to the second unit, and he can definitely help out that second unit more and more. But having Wiggins back is honestly going to be a great thing, not only just for him, but it will free up a lot of space for Steph Curry and also Klay Thompson. As you all know, Wiggins has somewhat become a great scorer, and he's also shooting some of the highest 3-point percentage he has ever shot in his entire life, shooting 39%, which is fantastic to see. But on top of all that, I do think it is going to give a little bit of a breather for players such as Steph and Klay, especially when it comes to the scoring side of things. Having Andrew Wiggins drop 15, 20, maybe even 25 points in certain stretches, especially when it comes to playoff time, is definitely going to be a huge factor for the Golden State Warriors, especially when it comes to late in games. So I do think it is going to have a huge effect on this team, and it's honestly going to help out this team for the better. Andrew Wiggins does a fantastic job not only on defense and also on offense, but his playmaking is also somewhat there. He averages 2.3 assists per game, which is great to see, but even though he may not get the assist, he's still a very selfless player, and he does like to get everyone involved, really good at rotations, and I think that's fantastic from someone like Wiggins. So not only does he have an effect on the team in offense and defense, but having him out there also eases a lot of the stress from Steph Curry and also Klay Thompson, who lately have been had the responsibility of dropping 30, 35, 40 points every single game in order for the Warriors to win. So having Wiggins back is honestly great, and I do think by the time you're watching this video, he may have already played his first game, and he also has a lot of time to get ready for the playoffs, and especially if they make it to the NBA championship games. The second reason is that the Golden State Warriors have Donte DiVincenzo and Gary Payton II both in the second unit lineup. So guys, this is honestly the most scariest thing that everyone should definitely be worried about, but you have 2 great defenders in Donte DiVincenzo and Gary Payton II in the same lineup, and I'm telling you right now, the playoffs are definitely so not ready to see what they are going to be able to do together. So far, Donte DiVincenzo has been in the starting lineup, so GP2 and also Donte DiVincenzo haven't been playing a lot of games together, but now that Wiggins is back, we have a starting unit that's very solid. But if we look at the second unit, we got Jordan Poole at point guard, we got Gary Payton II at 2, we got Donte DiVincenzo at the 3. I'm telling you right now, this point guard, shooting guard, and small forward big trio right here is honestly going to be super dangerous when it comes to playoff time. Donte DiVincenzo, starting off with him, he's been averaging 9.2 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists, but he has done fantastic, especially ever since getting a huge increase in his minutes, where he's been averaging all the way up to around 12 points over the last last times where he has gotten at least above 25 minutes, and he's also done a fantastic job on rebounds and assists. If we look at Gary Payton II as well, he's also been averaging 4.2 points so far this season, 2.7 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Now, Gary Payton hasn't played a lot of games yet with the Golden State Warriors, as he's only played 4, and they are slowly getting him back into it due to the fact that he is coming back from a serious injury. So it may take some time, but when it comes playoff time, I think they're going to have Gary Payton play the way he has always played, giving him a lot more minutes, giving him bigger roles, and I don't think they are going to hold back his minutes during those times. So having DiVincenzo and GP2 in the same lineup is honestly going to be super dangerous. They both average quite a lot of steals. Donte DiVincenzo actually averaged so far this season around 1.3 steals, while Gary Payton II, when looking at his time in Portland, was averaging 1.1 because he did play 15 games. So it is hard to go off the averages of Warriors since he's only played 4, but he's been averaging 1.1 for Portland Trailblazers where he played 15 games. So he did a fantastic job, and I do think when it comes to what he is doing when it comes to Gary Payton II and Donte DiVincenzo and the steal factor of things, it's going to be super hard for other teams to get past. I think they got such great defense. As the old saying goes, defense wins championships, and that's definitely going to help this team. The great thing about GP2 and Donte DiVincenzo is they both have that 3 and D in them when it comes to their play style, and I think with Jordan Poole running the point, he won't have any trouble finding players like GP2 and also Donte DiVincenzo on the wing, or maybe even the corner for that 3. So it is going to be very interesting to see, because we haven't seen a lot of game time between them both, but I do think them going up a second unit, especially for other teams that aren't as strong as the Golden State Warriors, it is going to be a great sight to see. The third is Kevon Looney is playing the best basketball he has ever played in his entire career. As you all know, Kevon Looney is one of my favorites because I feel like he is very underrated for this Warriors team and how he provides so much and does the intangible things. If we look at his stats so far this season, he's averaging 7.1 points, also 9.2 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. He's also averaging 0.6 steals and 0.6 blocks, and he's doing this while also shooting 63%. And if we look at every single statistical category, he is actually doing the best he has ever done in every single stat compared to all of the other seasons before. So there's actually the highest amount of points he's ever averaged at 7.1. There's also the highest amount of rebounds at 9.2. His latest one, or highest one before that, was actually 7.3. His assists has also been the highest this season at 2.5, and then his also field goal percentage has been the highest this season at 63.1%. So he's honestly smoked every single statistical category, which just shows how Kevon Looney has improved over the years, and he is only getting better as time has gone on. Now, don't get me wrong, if we look at his offense, Kevon Looney is probably the 5th scoring option in that lineup, but he is still able to give you a couple of buckets here and there, and which is what is needed from him, is definitely rebounds, and he provides a lot of that. 9.2 rebounds is very good, especially in today's NBA, and he is leading the team in rebounds, which is fantastic to see, and by a great margin of that. The fact that he also shoots, when he does shoot, a very high percentage of 63% is honestly very good from someone like Kevon Looney, but it does show his efficiency out there is second to none. He's also done a great job at being able to really protect the paint and cause a lot of havoc, especially when smaller guards tend to drive in. As you all know, people say Steph Curry is a little bit of a liability on defense. I think Steph has improved, but whether it's right or wrong, I do believe that when Steph Curry gets blown by, Kevon Looney has always been there to contest the shot and cause a lot of havoc in the paint. So that's definitely something that doesn't really show up in the stat sheet, but I think Looney does very well out. He's very versatile when it comes to him being able to switch on guards. Yes, he may not be an elite defender like Andrew Wiggins, but if Kevon Looney is switched onto a guard, he does a pretty good job at being able to contest the shot and cause a lot of problems. People don't realize Kevon Looney does only stand at 6'9", and he's going up against 7-footers, 7'1" people at times, and he honestly out rebounds each and every single one of them. So I think Kevon Looney, for his height as well, and what he's been able to do for this team when it comes to the intangible things, has honestly been fantastic, and I think Kevon Looney is definitely going to be a sight to see, especially when it comes playoff and championship time, because I do think he is going to provide a lot for this team that many may not realize. The fourth is that Stephen Curry is still playing at an MVP type level. As you all know, people have said Steph Curry is getting older, he's 35 years old, he can't do this anymore and win another championship, but he has proved everyone wrong, because he is putting up some of the same numbers he was putting up back in his peak years of 2015 and 2016. If we look at his numbers so far, he's averaging 29.5 points, 6 6.1 rebounds, which is actually the highest amount of rebounds he's ever averaged, and also 6.3 assists. So he's done a great job at being able to age like fine wine because he is shooting some of the best basketball he has ever shot in a while. If we look at his unanimous MVP season, he actually shot 50% from the field and also shot 45% from the three. This season, he's shooting 49.2% from the field and also shooting 42.5% from the three. So very, very close, and I think it's honestly fantastic. And even though there is an 8-year difference between the two, he has been able to sustain such high-level basketball even at the age of 35. People say that by the time you're around 33, that's when your stats start to decline, but it only seems like Steph Curry is rather getting better in certain areas such as rebounding or even just sustaining and being the same. So it's honestly hasn't slowed down for Steph Curry, and I think he can continue this type of play, especially into the playoffs and also NBA championship time. The fifth reason is the Warriors have Jonathan Kaminga. Now, as you all know, Kaminga is still a very young player, but last season he did not get a lot of minutes, especially when it came to playoff time, but now he has honestly become an all-out superstar. So far this season, he's averaging 9.8 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 1.8 assists, and he's also doing this getting 0.6 steals and 0.4 blocks, which is fantastic, and shooting 52% from the field. So he's done a fantastic job because Kaminga has now become a very integral and important part for this Golden State Warriors team, and I think that's what makes this team so dangerous. A lot of the younger players are definitely starting to step up and getting bigger roles, and I think it is only going to make players such as Jonathan Kaminga better, but also make the Warriors better at the same time. Kaminga has honestly done a fantastic job to replace Andrew Wiggins while he's gone, and now that you have Andrew Wiggins, who is in the starting lineup, going to be playing, and now you have Jonathan Kaminga, who is pretty much Andrew Wiggins 2.0 coming off the bench, I'm telling you right now, it is honestly going to be a lot of problems for other NBA teams, and they definitely need to watch out.